Hello, fellow traders. This is TheRumpledOne. Coming to you Thursday, February the 18th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Holo versus order block. Yesterday's video, a superstition. Uh, One trader told me that I shouldn't have made that video. I didn't realize I needed anybody's permission to make videos. So maybe I shouldn't make this one either. But anyway, just remember one thing. These videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine. In fact, I was wondering if I should even make a video, rats versus Yale students, because I was called a Yale student. Now, the thing about rats and the Yale students are, rats only trade one direction. So, because in the T-shaped maze, the rat always turned left and got cheese 60% of the time, whereas the Yale students tried to figure things out, and so they were going left and right, and they only got cheese 52% of the time. Bottom line is the rat outsmarted the Yale students. So, I think what this particular individual was referring to, the fact that, I code a bunch of different indicators and I've come up with a bunch of different systems. So he's equating that to the Yale student. But you see, the rat learned over time. And so the rat's always refining, because if all of a sudden the rat stops getting cheese by turning left, then the rat's going to start turning right. Rat's going to figure it out. So that's kind of like what I like to do, especially if somebody presents new material. I like to figure it out. And one of the ways I figure it out is, if it has to do with trading, is I code indicators for it. Now, I was accused of like using this to make money. It's like, I put out so much stuff you can just download and you don't have to come to me to get it. It's not funny. Over the years, probably in the thousands, at least 1,000 indicators, or maybe hundreds. I don't know. I don't want to let's call it a couple hundred. Doesn't matter. Point is, they're out there. Some of them, are still in use since the early 2000s, like the dynamic support resistance, or systems like the buy zone. Anyway, the point of the video was Holo versus order block. And what you guys are concerned with is not stupid, stuff on the internet and the social media. You're concerned with how can you put more pips in your pocket, into your portfolio. So let's take a look. Now, I just want to show you a couple of indicators here. I made another update and I posted it out on Crestlick, and you can go get it for free. I turned all those inputs, all the hours, in the inputs. I had it hard coded. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. I know one trader, my buddy Walmall, who might want to put something in here like, don't trade during this session, start trading Walmall, and things like, the average ADR at this time of day is this, the average or range of this time is that. And he can maybe just stick it right here and he have a little note right there. So I turned it so you can go in here and you can change it. And like I said, you can just download that for free. Crestly. You don't have to come to me. You don't have to make a donation. Now, I've got a couple other indicators up here. I've got the indicator that puts the Holo line. See, this is the highest open here, and this is the lowest open here. And then I put my potential order block indicator. And so the Holo, you can go out, that's in the mother load. You can get that at crestlick.com too. For this particular chart, I only went back 60 or 24 bars in the last 24 hours. But then, these other two, these are 2010 donational. So you got your potential order block. So here I'm looking at the 1 hour period. I want to start looking at the day. So I go all the way back to the first hour of the day, and that's where it starts. And then right now I say high-low threshold, I have it false. But if you want to make sure that it's within 20 pips of the current daily high, you could put that to true. Let's see, what else did I do here? On the, I've got the multimeter higher high, higher low bars. What this does is, because they talk about the break of market structure, and once again, to me, it's not really clearly defined, but I think I kind of have a clue to it. And I want to thank all of those who made the comments and were trying to clue me in on their understanding of the order block. I was appreciative. If that one other trader, if he would have just chimed in with his, that would have been great. But some people like to do personal attacks, and I'm just not going to engage in that nonsense. I want to focus on what's important here, and people's opinions of me are really none of my business. So higher high, lower high. So you see on the M1, we're making 2 higher highs for the previous 2 bars. Or actually, let's just look here at H1. We have 7 higher highs. We're not counting this bar, because then everything would just go to 0 until it broke out, so you wouldn't have anything to look at. So that's why we start 1 bar ago. So 7 higher highs and 6 higher lows. So I guess that's pointing higher highs, higher lows. That means that things are going up. So what is the market structure? Is it within the order bar candle? Then you would break out of it, or do you wait for this to break it? Now you have a break of structure, so then you wait for price to return and you go back. I think that's what's going on here with the structure. So here, since I mentioned it, if we go down here to the M1 candle, you can see here it's in that potential H1 bear block. So you can see here, what's it doing? It looks like it's making lower highs, but you can't see that very well on the 1 minute. You can only see what it's doing this way. So you have to kind of eyeball that. So that's why you can start to move up time frame. So here on M5, you got 3 lower highs, and you've got a higher low. So that would alert me. Let me come to this time frame and see. Oh, prices looks like it's going this way, heading south. So that's one way. And then of course you've got your higher lows and lower highs here. What it's doing. So is it making a higher low, or is it making a lower low? And so here you can see it's making it made a higher low on that last bar. So once again, with the multimeters, how you can do this is just with a glance. If you see more red, pretty much on this side, then recently it's heading to the south. If you see more green on this side, then recently it's heading to the north. So you can see for weekly, monthly, it's heading to the north. But daily, it's very interesting if you look at that. Because yesterday it made a lower high and a lower low, but then it just turned right around and broke out. So that's why I say this is telling you what's happened up until the current bar. So you can, you pick your time frame and you trade accordingly. So the question is, it came down, now it came back up. Is that a break of structure, or is that just a continuation of what's been going on? I mean, you decide. You can see how many candles in a row you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th week up. I'm going to start looking for that buzzard reversal. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I make cute names, I guess, like rat and buzzard. I guess things like that, or maybe Holo or 1, 2, 3 are cute. Oh, and the trader that mentioned 1, 2, 3, I've got a question for you. When you say 1, 2, 3, are you saying a higher low, lower low, higher low. Is that the 123 you're referring to? Because I know there's a couple of different 123s when you Google it. Because I can remember this to me is a 123 pattern, but there's another 123 pattern, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So once again, thanks to all who replied on that video. So let's go back here and let's look at the H1. You look at the order block and you look at the switch, accidentally hit the wrong pair. So what happens here? Well, with the order block, if I understand correctly, you wouldn't even be in a trade right now, unless maybe you drilled down to a lower time frame. So who knows? Maybe if you went down to maybe the 5-minute, you would have gotten a trade. I'm not sure. But what I want to show is that you can see, because I said this was the Holo versus the order block. You can see you would have already been in a Holo trade here at 76, and you would have caught it for some nice pips right now. And down here, you could have been in a Holo trade at 138.45, which is the 40 launch pad, and it launched from the 38.40 and it launched from the 39.40. In fact, Walmart and I were on the phone, and I was actually working on something, and it was like, oh, I missed the 40 launch. So this is how I see you can make money. You can use these in conjunction, so you can say, hey, look at this, the Holo is inside an order block, maybe I'll take it. But once again, the way the order block traders do it, as I understand it, an order block forms. So let's just go back to M5. An order block would form, and then it would come back, and then you would take the trade. So here on M5, that didn't happen. Maybe on, let's take a look at M15, or maybe M1. Maybe it happened at the 1 minute. So yeah, so here on the 1 minute, it formed a potential order block here. Price came down for a couple minutes, touched, got back in it, and then maybe you short here. I don't know, but see here, that's your Holo. So in that case, maybe using the 1 minute, you could have made money. You guys can figure out how exactly you want to use it. You could put them both on the chart. You can have neither on the chart, or one or the other. But that's what I'm seeing. And the Holo, I think that came around somewhere around 2000, whenever. I can't even remember. It's been so long. But it's just simply, the highest H1 open on the chart. And, based on the theory that, price every day is going to make a high and a low, and it's going to reverse off that high and low. And so I like to use the H1, as you guys know. You can take that trade there or here. So that's it on the Holo versus order block. Let me know if you have any questions. And if somebody has a clear definition of market structure that I could code, then maybe I could do a market structure indicator. I tried, in fact, I had it, I think it was kind of like the lowest, I think was it the lowest low? I can't remember. But I think it was the lowest high and the highest low. It was kind of for doing a market structure type indicator, and it seemed to show some potential, but I still think Holo's got them beat. But sometimes when you combine them, then you get the confluence, and it might give you a cleaner signal, keep you out of some chop. So anyway, fellow traders, just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.